time, World Cup fans, football fans, soccer fans out there. Today is Wednesday, June 24th. What does that mean? Let me share my screen. We're at the final day of the group stages for each team. Simultaneous kickoffs. Let's go. 3 groups going per day. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We are about to know what's happening for the round of 32. Who is going where? What are we going to do in this video? We're going to break down each group. Don't worry, I'll move my camera when you do this. We're going to break down each group. Who's first, second, and third? Where are they in the standings right now? Who could the U.S. team play? You see them right here. So many permutations that could happen and so much more. We're going to break down the third place group, everything in between. So if you like these videos, hey, you want to stay up to date on what is happening in the FIFA World Cup, I got you. My name's Randy Silver. I'm a sports reporter. I live in Lincoln, Nebraska, covering the Cornhuskers. If you like Nebraska sports for the state, for the college team, anything in general, I do a lot of great breakdowns on the teams I cover, Big Ten, etc., etc. I did a vlog video on being in Seattle for the World Cup game, USA versus Australia. It was wild. I'll be in LA for round of 32, potentially, USA. Ooh, let's go, potentially. So let's subscribe, like, subscribe, follow. I appreciate you. Now let's break this down. You don't want to waste in this video. Sweden right now is the top of the third place because of goal differential. They're at 0. And they're tied with Scotland with goal differential. But then you look at the TCS points. This is like your good conduct. They are at -3, Scotland -4, meaning they're ahead. So the top 8 third place teams make it. Sweden, Scotland, Croatia, Algeria, Paraguay, Cabo Verde, Belgium, Czechia. And then your final 4, Congo, Ecuador, Bosnia, and Senegal need to do work to get up. You can see again, Senegal still has a chance for 3 points that they could continue if they win. Say they win, Ecuador ties, boom, they move up into the third place. Czechia ties, they move up to third place. So there's a lot to ride on for these third place teams. Now that takes you in to match day 3. So let's go over the match day 3. There'll be a lot of back and forth so you can understand, hey, what is happening between each team. So in Group A, you have Switzerland and Canada, and then Bosnia and Qatar. As we already just talked about, Canada, Switzerland top, and then Bosnia and Qatar. They both need to win to have a chance. You look right here, if you go to the table, 3B, this could be a team that USA plays. So it could be Qatar, could be Bosnia, if they come in third place from the group. How you figure out the complexity of it, it's too much to get into. I tried to do some reading. I kind of understood it, but there's a lot of this like if and or buts. So I'm not going to get into it, but just show you potentially who they could play from the group. Brazil, Scotland. Brazil, Scotland. So that is a massive game. Again, they're looking pretty. If you look at the standings, as we already talked about, the third place tracker, there will be in the third place team. You don't have to really worry about it, but of course you want to play an easier team as you move on. 1 versus 2. So with that being said, this game is vital. And then of course you think Morocco's going to win that game. If Morocco wins that game, what does that mean? They will be able to be a 2 seed at the very minimum. If Brazil, Scotland tie, then they each have 5 points. Morocco wins their game. They have 7. They'll be top. If they tie, then they have, if they tie Haiti, then they have 5 points. Brazil, Scotland tie, 5-4. So you get what I'm saying. You're smart. And then lastly, you got Mexico versus Czechia, and then South Africa versus Korea. Mexico versus Korea Republic, and then Czechia versus South Africa. So 1 versus 1. Sorry, Korea versus South Africa. Korea versus South Africa. Again, you expect Mexico and Korea to be able to win those, and Mexico will be top of the group. If, again, you look at the U.S., They wouldn't face any of those. You go to E, F, I, J. We'll get there in a second. So if you're enjoying games on Wednesday, enjoy that. On Thursday, you have Ecuador versus Germany. Ecuador, as we already talked about, needs to win that game. They have 1 point. If you look at the third place right now, they're below the line, which is Czechia. They need to win that game. A tie is not going to help them at this point. Maybe it does, but if Czechia and Congo tie as well, then they would move up with them. And then you got Côte d'Ivoire, Curacao. You think Côte d'Ivoire is going to win that game. Tunisia, Netherlands. Tunisia, and Japan, Sweden. Again, this group is pretty defined in terms of who's moving forward. All three of these teams have an opportunity to be 1, 2, or 3, depending how they go. You got Japan, Sweden. So in terms of who's going to win, Netherlands has the easiest game so far versus Tunisia. They should get that win, making them 7 points. Japan needs a win to keep up. But if you look at the third place standings again, Sweden's right here at the top. All these teams are sitting pretty to move on to the round of 32. If you look at the next group, then you got USA versus Paraguay. USA, Turkey, and Paraguay versus Australia. As we already talked about. Yes, we did. What does this mean for Team USA? Well, we already won our group. Let's go. Go, Team USA. 6 points. Australia's got 3 points. Paraguay's got 3 points. They're playing each other. They're both sitting pretty in the third place standings. If you got Paraguay right here. So even if a team loses, you think they're going to probably be able to move forward between them. You don't want to lose. If you tie, rising all tides, they'll move forward. And again, USA, we already know we're moving forward right here. So EFI, or any of those EFI. Potentially, you could play a third place team here, Ecuador. That's a tough draw if you get Ecuador. Obviously, they're not playing their best. USA would feel confident with that, but not someone who would you want. From F, you could potentially get Sweden. Again, EFI. EFI. You could potentially get Japan. Look at the probability right now. It doesn't seem most likely because they're higher up. With USA, right now it's Bosnia or a lower team. So then your final groups, you got Egypt. So then if you go down, for Friday, you got France, Norway, and Senegal, Iraq. Whatever we talked about before. It comes down to this. France has the goal differential on Norway by +1. Norway has to win the group, or they'll come in second. Senegal, Iraq. If you look at the third place, again, Senegal hasn't lost by many points, so the goal differential isn't terrible, but they need to get a win to have a chance to be a third place team. Same with Iraq, but the goal differential is not going to help them, so they probably can't get there. Again, this group is pretty close. Anything could happen. If you look at it again, you have New Zealand, Belgium, Iran, Egypt. Oh, no, I was right. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. I went too far low. You went Uruguay, Spain, Cape Verde, Kazakhstan. We'll go there for a second. Next, we got Saudi Arabia, Cape Verde, and Uruguay, Spain. Again, look at the group. Spain's got 4 points. Uruguay's got 2. Cabo Verde with 2. 2 ties. Uruguay, Spain, and Saudi Arabia with 1. So hypothetically, Spain, Uruguay, that game means a lot to both teams. Uruguay, Cabo Verde need to get a point in their games. They're right here. They're above the line. But any other teams below them could jump up if they match up with them and they lose. So you need to do something there. And Spain, of course, after the draw, looked dominant in their second game. We'll see how they do. And then finally, you got the last group, New Zealand and Belgium. So if you go to New Zealand and Belgium, both teams need a win. Both teams have a chance to move forward if they get the win. However, they're third, fourth. Iran and Egypt, they're playing each other. Have some Middle East rivalry right there. We will see how they do. Obviously, Egypt's in Africa, but they're very proximity in terms of their location. If you look at the third place, again, Belgium is right there on the border. And you know that laden group, Lukaku, Kevin De Bruyne, they want to get it done. Thibaut Courtois in goal. Excuse me. And then takes you to the final match day. Panama, England, Croatia, Ghana. We talked about this. England, Ghana, Croatia. 4-4-3. A lot for them to have to go over and deal with. A lot. Not going to be easy whatsoever. Panama is eliminated. But for England, to play Panama is already eliminated. Not anything to go for. After the tie against Ghana, probably best case scenario, go out there and right the demons. Get with the third place team with 3 points. Excuse me, 3 points. They're looking good. Nothing to really worry about there. But you want to get that W. Then you have Colombia, Portugal, Congo, excuse me, Uzbekistan, Colombia, Portugal, in Miami. The scenes have been great all over. This could be the greatest scene of all, especially with the Latin America influence in Southern Florida, in Miami in particular. Whew! Oh, a lot of Brazilians live in Miami. Yes, Portugal is not Brazil, but they both speak Portuguese. So we'll see if there's more Colombia fans or Portugal fans there. Obviously, Ronaldo got his 2 goals after going scoreless game 1. You look again at the third place team. Cabo Verde is right there with their goalkeeper, 15 million plus followers. It is impressive to see. So the question is, can they get a third draw? You'd have to think for that team. Congo is right there at 1 point. They need a win. It's going to be very tough for them. And then your final group, Jordan, Argentina, Algeria, Austria. Argentina 6 points, Austria 3 points, Algeria 3 points. Argentina, Jordan, good luck. If you want to see goals, go to that match. Austria, Algeria, again, if you look at the third place, what's happening here? Sitting pretty. So if you lose, not the end of the world, probably still top 8. A draw helps both teams. A win, of course, puts you second in the group. Both of the lost Argentina, so they're guaranteed because of head-to-head to be top of the group. But then if you, again, you look at how does it affect the USA, I, J. So J, third place team, could be Algeria. You would think Austria beats them, but you never know. Maybe Austria falls to J. Group I, Senegal. Not the easiest draw, but if they win against Iraq, they haven't been playing good this tournament. They, keeping teams close. We've played Senegal and World Cups before. So just be prepared because those are some other draws. This obviously will be very fluid as the games go on, but we wanted to make sure as the games get going, the matches get going, you see where you're at. Of course, you already know some of these teams are won. Germany, Mexico, Argentina, and the U.S. Good names to be part of. But now it's time for the U.S. to go out there and get it. We'll keep doing breakdowns. Obviously there's a lot of ifs and or buts here. Once you get to round of 32, it's very obviously known. We can do more X's and O's. If you like the stuff, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know. Vlog videos, everything in between. Nebraska sports videos, breakdowns. Try my best to get you the news. Randy Silver out.